Hello, my virtual friends. My name is Catherine, also known as Miss Blue, and welcome to the Chameleon Creator. This is a visual novel about stories and how they affect people, and that's all I seem to know about it because it's an early access type game, as in the backgrounds are all lovely and coloured, but the figures themselves are in black and white, so they're quite sketchy so far. So it's early access so far, which is fine enough, so we're just going to get straight on into it. Let's start. Right. No idea how this is going to go. I've seen that it's about 30 odd minutes long, but I think that's when you don't read everything out loud, so this may take a little bit longer. Who knows? I want to play a relaxing game after the travesty of yesterday's recording, which you will probably never see, but never mind, we're playing this. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, the young princess starts to stir, ready to, in the kingdom of the unsetting sun, the eternal light is divine, but for this simple old man, his daughter's the only sunshine. Dad! Yes? How many times do I have to tell you to stop don't you think I'm getting too old for that? Yeah, Dad? Speaking a billion miles an hour? Ah, yes. See, this is the kind of thing I was talking about. The young girl is laying on the bed and unenthusiastically opened her eyes, being greeted by a sight she's gotten quite familiar with. The light that illuminated the entire room burned brightly, causing her to immediately regret the decision. But after a few seconds, she was able to recover. I like this already. It was difficult for her to sleep in such a bright room at first, but her quick recovery was proof that she was getting used to it. I think that's her father talking at this point. Getting like, ah, it's just fine, don't you worry about it. She's got used to it by now, you don't need to fix the problem immediately. Besides, there wasn't anything that could be bigger eyesore than the person standing right at her door. Aww. Ha! Sorry, sunshine, but when you're not even a third of my age, you don't even know the meaning of old. Was it obvious that I couldn't stop thinking about that story we read last night? I spent the morning trying to come up with a rhyme that could capture the magic of Adventures of Burger Bear, and I think I did a pretty darn good job. The moment he stepped into her room, the atmosphere drastically changed. Oh dear. Anyone who's been around him could tell you the air of royalty he gives off with his presence. Ah! Oh yeah, I did read that on the itch.io page. This guy's royalty, and she doesn't seem to care for it that much. Yet from his appearance and from the moment he opens his mouth, the grandeur illusions of him are usually shattered. Once the atmosphere realized this as well, it returned back to its normal state. Dad, doesn't the king of Solstoria, we'll go with that, have more important things to do in the morning than bust out cheesy grade school level rhymes? Nothing is more important than you, sunshine. The king held his tongue after realizing what he just said, but let out an internal sigh of relief since his daughter didn't seem to catch it. I missed that as well. Besides, you make it sound like I spent all morning thinking up those 45 words, and that's just the furthest thing from the truth. How far exactly? I only spent most of the morning this time, and I have a witness to back this one up for me too. He suddenly threw his arms up and pointed to the roof, and then dramatically lowered until he was now pointing at the room's entrance. Ah. Yes, a grand entrance for her as well. After a brief moment of hesitation, the supposed witness slowly slipped into the room, balancing a fancy silver platter with both her hands. Oh gosh, oh man. Princess, please pardon the intrusion. Oh, sorry, that's her. Princess, please pardon the intrusion. I don't mean to invade your privacy, but your father annoyingly insisted that I come up here with him. She let out a yelp that made the whole room jump, but no one reached the amount of air she did. Alright, when she landed, she jumped up, okay, I see. When she landed, she bowed and apologized to the king, spewed an indecipherable language that vaguely resembled English. No worries, I told you there's no need to act so stiff around us, canary. Oh, I can see your name at the bottom here. Oops, daisy. I'm sorry, my king. I tried really hard to see this visit like the analogy you told me. On our way up here, I told myself again. Oh, that's canary again. Jesus Christ. I thought that was, but I saw him open his mouth. On our way up here, I told myself again and again that this was just like taking a visit to my grandmother's house. But the moment I stepped through the door, a full moon invaded my brain, and the cute little grandma in my head turned into a scary werewolf. Huh. Well, I'm glad to see the kid didn't inherit the hairy part of my genes, because you just gave me a pretty scary mental image right there. I just looked up and saw his face. Good lord, that is one terrified man. He's seen some things. If Canary weren't holding the silver platter, she would have thrown her hands up and covered her mouth in shock immediately. But thanks to her servant duties, Canary's mouth slowly dropped at the realization that she was called the princess a hairy werewolf, and she couldn't hide it. The young girl clicked her tongue, annoyed that she didn't have anything within reach to try and toss in there for some easy points. Don't worry so much about the canary. My kid won't eat you, but she doesn't eat something soon. These things might really going to get hairy around here. The king gave Canary a little pat on the shoulder, snapping her out of her daze. She's crying now, dude. Can you not see that? Oh gosh, oh man. I'm sorry, Princess Allura. I didn't mean to call you a hairy werewolf. Canary set the bed tray and silver platter across Allura's lap, lifting the cover and revealing the dish to her master once she made sure everything was stable. Why can't I bloody read today, honestly? Never mind.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Eating with Allura. That's okay, it's an omelet. Perfect cells around oh. Thin slices of bear meat, oh okay. Whoa, the meat was not alone, it's accompanied by freshly chopped tomatoes, yeah, okay. But egg wrapped to contain, okay. Fluffy yet strong, okay. She's very excited about the fact flavors are distinct, sensory overload, Prince of the King, 70 something or other. Consume this taste, okay. Yes. Princess? But sure, there's no need to apologize. After all, there's no big honor in getting to visit from the infamous executioner herself. Oh, Princess, you and your father are just too kind to me. Let's ignore that fever dream of eggy nonsense, we'll say that much. I really wish you would stop calling me that, though. Alright, Canary, would it be too much trouble to keep my kid company for a bit? It wouldn't be a problem at all, my king. Thanks, I'd love to join you guys, but despite what someone thinks, I do have some kingly duties to attend to. And, you know, scary Cordillera gets when I don't do those. The king walked up to his daughter, lifted her bangs, and gave her a kiss on the forehead. Alright, see you later, sunshine. After playfully wiping away the ketchup stains from her cheeks, he turned his back and headed towards the door. He paused next to Canary and bowed to bid her king farewell, but straightened herself once she realized the king wasn't ready to leave quite yet. The king locked eyes with her for a second, let out a sigh, and placed his hand on her shoulder once more. Please take care of her, alright? Oh, that's immediately suspicious. He's not coming back, lads. That was the last time we ever saw him. And silence shall now reign. And Allura is very satisfied. The moment the king left the room, the mistaken tension that accompanied him returned. However, the tense atmosphere between the two girls in the room was far more appropriate in comparison. You wouldn't have been able to tell by looking at Allura, who was focused on consuming the omelette until there was nothing but bits of ketchup left. Ew, it had ketchup on it? Ugh, gross. But you could see on Canary's face as bright as day. She wouldn't stop fidgeting, her fingers were constantly twirling, and she tried to avoid contact with the only other person in the room, despite the princess not taking her eyes off the meal even once. Hey, Canary? Yes, princess? Oh gosh, oh man. How may I be of service? So, my dad said something about my special day, and I know you know about it. What's he hiding from me this time? I actually have no idea what you're talking about. Wow, you and my dad are really bad at keeping secrets. Bye then. Allura moved the finished breakfast tray off her lap and hopped out of bed. She walked over to her room's dresser and unpinned the calendar that was hanging on the wall above it. After obtaining the evidence she needed, she practically ran up to Canary and parked the calendar just inches away from her nose, pointing at today's date, March 20th. Ooh, 3 days before my birthday. I'm guessing this secret has something to do with my birthday, right? Oh, it's surely your birthday, princess. Well, that's certainly news to me. That's a worse thing to say than you would have thought. I'm not sure why that makes you think your father is hiding something from you, though. Because I didn't inherit my dad's terrible memory either. About a week ago, Elora's birthday was written on today's date in my dad's handwriting. 2 days ago, the reminder was gone. Someone spread some whiteout all over the date, but they put a little too much and made the date March 21st. And just yesterday, the perpetrator realized their mistake and wrote the 0 back in with a marker, which was once again in my dad's handwriting. So, my dear Canary, this is my conclusion. My dad wrote down my birthday on my calendar because he thinks my memory is as bad as his, but then decided to erase it in hopes I didn't notice it. Why do you ask? Because he decided that he wanted to throw a surprise party for me. So did I hit the bullseye? Ha! The level of reasoning is impossible for a lower lamplight. What do you think, Canary? Are you ready to spill the beans yet, or what? Canary let out a long, distressed groan, torn between the wishes of her two masters. Elora grabbed her hand and pulled her along towards her bed, motioning for Canary to sit with her. Canary tried her hardest to resist, but Elora wouldn't take no for an answer, and pulled her down to her level. Canary, if you don't tell me, I might tell the other servants just how much you love being called the executioner. Or perhaps I'll come up with something worse. The point is, spit it out already, girl! Okay. Just please keep that nickname to yourself. If the other servants found out about it, I'd never hear the end of it. While Canary collected herself from all the verbal abuse, Elora began rocking back and forth in anticipation for the Canary confession. Well, you pretty much hit the bullseye. Your father's planning a surprise party for you. Boring. I figured out that much, so skip to the party and give me some actual deets. Come on, give me the deets, man. Where are we going? Got a pool, party, chocolate fountain, all that stuff? The who, the what, the where, the when, the why kind of deets. Oh, well, I don't know. I have an answer for all of those. Though I do know he's planning throwing a party at the recreational hall. The recreational hall, huh? So I'm guessing you're not the only servant who's in on this then. Well, I've heard plenty of servants talk about it, but I don't think the king meant to tell anyone other than me. Meant being emphasized. Most of the servants found out about it by themselves, but they've been playing along out of respect. We even agreed to spend your leisure outside of the recreational hall for today, so we don't accidentally run into this super sneaky surprise. Well, I guess I should have figured since Dad is really bad at keeping secrets. Wait, hold on. You just say you're the only one who meant to tell? What's that supposed to mean, huh? Oh god, that's a Sans looking face there, Jesus. I've seen clips of evil Sans, Undertale, that's an evil Sans looking face. Canary's eyes dropped open once again after she realized that she'd let slip, but her hands were free to cover it this time. This disappointed Elora greatly, since she could have tossed some of the omelette bits in there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You weren't supposed to know that part, and it sounded like I was bragging about it too. Oh gosh, oh man, I don't think I deserve work in this castle anymore. Sorry, Canary, but you aren't allowed to leave until I squeeze every last drop out of you. There's no way I'll be able to last 5 minutes without knowing why my dad shared a secret with the only person who's worse than him than keeping secrets. Princess, do I really have to? It's just so awkward. Well, you don't have to. Just like I don't have to keep quiet about the gnarly stuff you keep in your sock drawer. I did not have anything gnarly in my sock drawer. Gnarly is the wrong word for things kept in sock drawers, but whatever. Your father has a couple of weeks ago, he asked me to teach him how to cook. Shock horror. Huh? Yeah, I was pretty confused when he first asked me too. When I was spending my leisure out in the castle woods picking ingredients, the king showed up out of nowhere. And so suddenly that I nearly smacked the king of Solostria. That's not how I pronounced it first time, whatever. Once he got me to calm down, he told me he was a big fan of my cooking, and it took everything I had to stop my right hook from swinging. Well, he certainly isn't wrong about that. You really are a darn good cook. Yay! Compliments now, we're not getting into threatening here. I really don't think so, especially compared to the real chefs that work here. But your father said that out of all the dishes he eats during his meals, it's always the egg-themed one that tasted the best. After asking around, he eventually found out they were all the dishes I'd made. He was pretty surprised to find out that the person who had made those dishes wasn't even a chef, but a maid who was cooking for fun. Ah. Well, even if there was one thing I did inherit from my dad, it's a spot on taste and food. There's no way he'd lie when it comes to his stomach. Ah, yes, I know how sincere the king is, but I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. He said he always wanted to meet this creator of his favourite dishes, but he was just too shy to talk to me in person. I seriously thought he couldn't get any more unbelievable, but your father proved me wrong with what he said next. He said he finally worked up the courage to talk to me because he wanted to know if I would teach him how to cook. Oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet. At the very least, he wanted to learn the basics for your birthday so he can make a cake for you. Oh, you gotta be happy with that, Laura. So that's how you became the inside party plan man, huh? So, you actually teach him how to cook then? Bake. Your father said he wanted to cook a cake for you first, so we had to spend the first day making sure he understood the difference between them. But after that, I indeed started teaching him how to bake a cake. I see. Huh. So that's what Dad has been up to, huh? Knowing him that cake's gonna be the grand centerpiece of his birthday surprise. Oh, we got it spoiled, goddamn. Alright, Canary, that's all I need to know. Thanks for filling me in. Laura clapped her hands as if snapping her made out of a magical spell. Ah, forgive me, my king, for I failed to keep our secret a secret. I hecked up big time. Don't worry about it, Canary. I'll make sure Dad won't find out about your betrayal. And even if he does, I'll make sure he doesn't get depressed about it. I wish you wouldn't be like that, but I guess I really did betray his trust. Or word it like that. Oh gosh, oh man. Stop being such a Morty, Canary. We got this. You'll be fine. With their interrogation finished, Laura hopped out of her bed and walked over to her dresser to pin the calendar back up. Meanwhile, Canary gathered all the tableware Laura used on the bed onto the bed tray and lifted herself up from the bed as well. Well, I think I've committed enough sins for today, Princess. Please enjoy the rest of your birthday. Thanks again, Canary. Don't be a stranger and come chat with me more often. I'll try my best. Ah, one last thing, Princess. What is it? Truth be told, I had the honour of judging your father's cake after he finished it. The results? Left a lot to be desired. But I just didn't have it in my heart to tell him that. Still, he worked really hard on the cake and, I guess what I'm trying to say is, please go easy on him, won't you? No way! If it stinks, it stinks. No sugarcoating it. Literally. I mean, if he doesn't get the hit that with cold hard truth, he's never going to improve, right? Maybe? Princess? Well, that's fine. That's just the kind of person you are, after all. Well, if you excuse me, Princess. Right. What do we do now, then? Good old Laura, staring at me. Silence it is, then. Now being surrounded by absolute silence for the first time since waking up, Laura took a brief moment to enjoy it before walking over to her room balcony in order to start her morning proper. Right then. Is there more than that, or will it end there? I think this game is supposed to be like 6 chapters according to the itch.io page, or it shall be eventually. It was always beautiful, no matter how many times she looked at it. The view? Could be. Very nice. So it's great so far, this game. I love it. I hope there's more. Ah, oh. Looks German, I guess. I'm basing that on nothing, but what I think I know about European architecture. That's certainly not England or Scotland, that's for sure. What waited for her, Laura, when she stepped out onto the balcony was a view of the Solstria Kingdom. Fuck it, never mind. Solstria, it's like the sun. Known far and wide as the kingdom of the unsetting sun, there hasn't been a single second since its creation where the land wasn't basking in the sun's light. Oh god, horrible. It's like the opposite of the neighborhood from the Chicken Sose games where it's always dark. And Laura couldn't ask for a better kingdom to rule over. It was a kingdom that was made for her. It was a kingdom that belonged to her. Her castle wasn't too far away from the kingdom itself. It was small enough to where she can see the entirety from her balcony. Like the castle, the majority of the kingdom was a strange fusion between modern and medieval. It was contradictory, but it worked together pretty well. There was only one thing that stuck out like a sore thumb even to the kingdom's princess. Oh. The, Blade Runner tower, obviously. At the very center of the kingdom, a tower rose above all the other buildings in Solstoria. That's it, Solstoria, got you. Its height was unfathomable. It looked as tall as enough to touch the sun itself. I immediately thought of, what's it called? Last Guardian. If you know the ending of that, then that's what this reminded me of. Neither medieval or modern, it was the most unsettling how out of place the tower seemed. It was almost alien. Interesting, into it. But despite finding it odd, this was just another irreplaceable piece of the kingdom that made it hers. So Dad tried baking something, huh? I'm sure the guys down there would beat each other up for a chance to try out something Dad baked, even if it tasted terrible. I guess I'm really a lucky girl. What a wonderful opportunity I've been given. Not only do I have a chance to eat the king's homemade cake, I'm having it especially for me too. And to think, this lucky girl plans to repay this honor by telling her dad his present stinks. You changed your tune. She really thinks her dad's the daughter. My butt. What? I misread that so terribly. Elora leaned onto the balcony railing, squinting her eyes. She tried to catch a glimpse of the many residents who have repeated that line to her more times than she can count. Oh, do they think she's not the princess? Oh. While she's been able to see the kingdom's residents from her view, there wasn't too much activity happening that caught her interest. Guess it's too early for any excitement. How boring. Let's keep looking for a minute. We have our I should have saved it, the choice, oh well. Yes. Which one's the save button? I don't know. That one. No, that's the menu. Okay, then go back. How about this one? There we go. Bookmark. Put it there. Excellent. A mistake. Don't call it that. After deciding to look down upon her kingdom for a bit longer, something eventually caught her interest. Near the very outskirts of town, Elora spotted a figure she didn't really recognize. The population was small enough that Elora has a memory of every single person who lives in her kingdom. Or she just has a really good memory. But no matter how hard she squeezed, she couldn't pinpoint anything recognizable on the figure shifting outside of town. And forget about it. Let's keep our eyes on that little shifter. Never once taking her eyes off the shifter, Elora ran through her memory bank at blinding speed. Unfortunately, no matter how hard and thorough she ran, she couldn't put a name to a face, and it bothered her to no end. Mysterious. She was in fact thinking so hard that her toes began to curl from within her slippers, which she usually takes as a sign that she's getting way too invested in something. Ugh, maybe my memory just isn't what it used to be. You're like a child, man, honestly. It's about as good as it can get at this point. Or maybe my eyes are just getting bad. Perhaps I stopped reading books in the light. That's the opposite of making your eyes bad, whatever. While Laura was trying to decide which of her body parts to blame, she hopped onto the railing and balanced herself on her hands and her stomach, and stretched her neck out as far as she could. That's dangerous. Perhaps she was trying to get a closer look as possible? Perhaps she was trying to rock her brain back and forth in the hopes that it would jog her memory, or get herself killed. Or perhaps she just wanted to impersonate a seesaw for some reason. Regardless, by the time she properly balanced herself to do something, the shifter on the outskirts of town was no longer in her sights. Seriously? You're the one who did it? Her eyes darted all over the kingdom, but she couldn't spot the figure anywhere. She took her eyes off him for a second, and now it was almost like he was never there. Out of childish frustration, Elora gave up her seesaw impersonation and began to impersonate a very ferocious monkey instead. Monkeying commences. As she was blowing off steam in the balcony edge, her keen eyes managed to catch a glimpse of something else. This time in the castle garden below. I've learned my lesson. I'm not doing that again. Elora somehow learned her lesson from her previous curiosity and turned away from the attention-grabbing shiny in the garden, knowing full well that something far more important demands her attention. Could this be the super rare character development that Elora's learned so much about? She always tried to buy one at the store, but every time they're in stock, they're gone before she even steps foot outside her home. She heard that people line up for weeks just to get their hands on one. I know, it's so expensive. I try so hard. I chop mine up and disperse it between all my stories. Could she have truly blessed such an honor? I hope so. Have I granted her that as the somewhat storyteller? She's totally going to sell it for double the profit later. Yes, the evil smile. I think so. Getting her fill of scenery, Elora let the upper half of her body droop further down on the railing, looking like a towel that's been hanging out to dry. Jesus Christ, woman, I told you to get away. Honestly, you're gonna fall off and die. This is no planking, this is serious. As she hung there, her mind wouldn't stop thinking about Canaria's lingering farewell words. That's just the kind of person you are, after all. She was hoping the scenery would be distracting enough for her to forget about it, but it only made it worse. It was all because of that dumb cake and her dumb dad. You asked. You opened up the opportunity for this to happen, so that's how it was. She wasn't lying when she told Canaria that she wanted to be honest with her dad's baking. She truly believed that being brutally honest with someone was the best way to critique their creation. Well, you gotta sugarcoat a tiny bit, just not discourage the person from doing it again. That can happen. Her heart was already decided on it, but her mind was starting to waver. Sigh. As much as I don't want to encourage Dad's goofiness, I think a pat on the back wouldn't be too bad, I guess. Yeah, at least it's like be good for effort. That's a good thing to do, I suppose. I mean, Canary did say he worked really hard on it. He probably locked himself in this room and cried himself to sleep if I told him his cake sucked. We can't have the king of Solstoria drowning his own tears, now can we? He has like important king stuff to do, or so he claims. Yeah, I guess it can be nice about it. Just this once. Alrighty then, just this once we should be nice about it. Through her own strange logic, she was able to find a reason to follow her head over her heart. But unfortunately, this brought about a whole another issue. That issue being, like her dad and Canary, Elora was also a terrible liar. Oh. Well then. If she was able to eat that cake for the first time, and it's as bad as Canary says, well, she said it leaves a lot to be desired. That doesn't mean it's not inedible, so it might just be bland. That's what we're hoping for at this rate. When no matter what any of her body parts want, her face will always give away the truth. But wait. If I can sneak a taste of that cake without him knowing, I'll at least know what to expect. It will give me some time to practice a believable lie. Oh. Yeah, if I can sneak a taste of that cake, there shouldn't be any problems when the surprise party happens. You've already ruined the surprise anyway, and the fact that there's a cake in general. Elora glances at the hanging clock above her drawer, which just hit 8:10 a.m. Most likely her dad was planning throwing a surprise party at noon, which meant it was when he's at his hungriest. The cake should be still in the kitchen, which wasn't too far away from her room. Okay, mission time, we got this. So there's plenty of time to pull off the plan and get used to the awful taste of the cake in preparation for the real deal. It might be really great, who knows? Elora, sometimes your genius is just plain terrifying. Indeed. After running through the plan a few more times in her head, Operation Prevent Cake Heartbreak was officially approved. Awesome titling there. She was too lazy to dress out of her pajamas for it, but there was no way her bed hair was going to be seen by anyone that she didn't have dirt on. Yes, I think that's all you need to do, brush your hair and you're all good to go for the day. She skipped over to her dresser and pulled out the top drawer, taking a very gnarly brush from underneath her pile of never used socks. Indeed, music indeed. With gnarly brush in hand, she headed off on over to her mirror, which was placed near the room's entrance. Ah, very nice. Very modern indeed. As she was running her comb through her hair, her mind began to linger on Canary's sentence once again. That's just the kind of person you are. The longer she gazed into her own eyes, the louder it rang in her head, and the more guilt she felt. I guess Canary's right. That's just the kind of person you are. Hope you're okay with being me. Because I'm okay with being you. At least I'm trying my best to be. Who am I kidding? It's been a while since I've taken a long look at myself like this. But nothing's changed. Elora snapped out of her hypnotic gaze in her own reflection, only to realize that she finished combing her hair quite a while ago. She let out a lengthy sigh after realizing how dumb she's being and tossed her comb onto her bed before heading out towards the door. Ah well, guess I'm not done with this character just yet. Pardon? Do we not get to the mission? No! Oh, we do? Yes? Okay, good. Right then. Alright. Elora's room was a fair distance away from the kitchen, but despite how large the castle was, it was impossible for her to get lost heading towards it. Her room was one of the only two located in the highest floor of the main castle. I assume up here somewhere. Normally kitchens would be like down here, wouldn't they, in big places like this? I don't know, I don't know me castles. The only other room was the recreational hall where her dad was planning on throwing her surprise party. What connected both to the rest of the castle was a long hallway leading to a spiral set of stairs, and the kitchen was waiting a short distance from the base of the stairs, right on the floor below Elora's. The floor below Elora's. The only things that accompanied Elora's snail through this, okay, that's a term, were the usual lights that were in every room of the castle and her own footsteps. Unfortunately, neither were very good at having conversations, excuse me, so they didn't make the walk go any faster. It was really strange. No matter how many times she goes down this hallway, the walk through the hall never gets any easier. If anything, the hall just seems to get longer and longer every time she walks through it. She was worried that it'll be noon by the time she even makes it to the end of the hall. Are you being silly, or are you actually saying this is what's happening? Finally, the other end of the hall was in her sights. She began to pick up her pace, but slowed to a halt almost immediately. Is it Dad? The door to the recreational hall was just a few feet from the doorway to the stairway. Her dad was most likely still setting up the preparation there, so she planned to sneak by the door in order to not make any noise that could potentially attract his attention. But that isn't the way she stopped. Isn't why she stopped. It was because something in this endless hallway actually stood out. Oh. Sprinkled in front of the hall's entrance, as well as on the knob of the door itself, were red stains. They were actually very small stains that would be practically invisible anywhere else. But thanks to the dreary dullness of the hallway, Elora was able to notice them out of the corner of her eye almost immediately. Oh. What exactly were they? Are they warm, perchance? Smell coppery? Elora wasn't sure. The first thing that came to mind was the leftover ketchup from Canary's omelette. But Laura couldn't imagine Canary making a mess like this without cleaning up, and it didn't really look like ketchup either. Oh god. Or maybe it was paint. Maybe her dad was painting something red for a party and accidentally spilled a bit when he was bringing it in. That's likely, I guess, but... Oh, Jesus. Elora couldn't think of anything else. Whatever it was made her curious, and when she got curious, nothing else matters except quelling that curiosity, except for that shiny thing in the garden, which we'll probably never talk about now. The source of the red. She couldn't scratch this curious itch of hers as she went inside. There was no way she could resist the temptation. Oh no. So she slowly, very slowly, and very carefully pressed her ear against the door. And there was nothing but silence. Elora let out a sigh of relief, taking in this. That's a silence is a bad sign. Silence is a sign that her dad wasn't in there, or maybe he is in there, but but made silent. So it would be safe for her to take a little peek, right? Oh no, this is probably not what we're thinking at all. But you know, red, suspicious, silence. It all adds up. To see where all the red came from. To see what kind of surprise party Dad is setting up for her. 4 hours is way too long to wait to see the answers. So just one little glance, and then it's back to Operation Prevent Cake Heartbreak. That was the plan. Okay. The moment she gripped her hand around the handle, a sudden wave of unease began gnawing away at her. Oh, game, I was already on that boat already, just going. Something in her head was already yelling at her. Something buried deep, deep down. Telling her that the answer she was looking for behind this door. Oh no. Don't, game, don't. You better be messing with me. I'll be alright if you're messing with me. But she was better off not knowing them. Okay, no immediate signs of death. For a room decorated for such a lively event, it was uncomfortably quiet. There were balloons everywhere. Oh, this is not. Oh, okay. So there might actually be a sign of death somewhere. Seemingly attached to everything and anything capable of having a string tied around it. Confetti, party favors, and other colourful things littered the floor and furniture. Excuse me, almost as if a lord showed up to the party that's already passed. A giant bar that read "Happy Birthday" took up nearly the entire far wall. The only half of it was properly hung up at the moment. It doesn't have red lettering, that's the main focus here. Numerous tables were lined up perfectly from one end of the hall to the other, with a random assortment of chairs placed all around them, as well as being along the sides of the room. On one of those chairs in the furthest corner was her dad, who was hunched over fast asleep. Okay, wow, I really dodged a bullet there. Looks like Dad is really preparing himself for the surprise birthday party all by himself. Now that she knew it was fairly safe, Laura took this chance to survey the room once more time. Not a canary in sight. Nothing painted red either, but most importantly, no cake. Alright. Good, I guess. While it bothered her that she didn't find an answer she was looking for, she didn't want to risk sticking around with her father asleep in the room. Besides, now that she knew her cake wasn't here, there's an opportunity she could pass up. Operation Prevent Cake Heartbreak just got a whole heck of a lot easier. Guess he tired himself out, which isn't surprising since he loves bragging about how old he is. Don't know why he wanted to do all this stuff by himself anyways. Maybe we're starting to become a bad influence. Well, enjoy your nap, Dad. You've earned it, I suppose. When you wake up, I'll be the one who has a surprise for you. I'm gonna praise your cake so hard that I'll have a freaking planets revolving around it. Oh, that's adorable. So thanks for doing this for me, Dad. Oh, that's so cute. I still think he's dead, though. Dad? Dad? Game, no. Game, no. That was her dad. Right? Yes. He was sleeping. She said so. Right, game? Okay, music tells me no, no. Why would that thought even cross her mind? It was such a ridiculous question. Of course it was her dad sitting there. There's nobody else it could be. But still, there's something about this. It made her uneasy. It was already building up inside of her before she even entered the room. It's only been escalating, but she couldn't figure out what was causing this feeling. Maybe she didn't want to. Hey? Hey Dad, wake up! What would everyone think if they saw you sleeping like this? She yelled as loud as she could across the room. She didn't care about not getting caught anymore. Oh no, game! He was so cool and awesome, don't murder him now! But there was no response. Over and over again. Louder and louder. The result was always the same. Jeebus, since when were you such a heavy sleeper? I haven't heard the word Jeebus in so long, it's actually insane. But back to the problem at hand. You must have really worked yourself to the bone. All for my sake. Okay, fine. If I can't yell you awake, then I'm just gonna have to poke you awake or something. Has his throat been slit? Is that what this is? God's sake, it's going all amnesia music-wise, Jesus. Short steps. Deep breaths. Everything's alright. Everything is alright. Don't say, if you say it like that, you're making me panicky already, Jesus. It took everything she had to keep believing her made-up truth. But as she walked towards the motionless king, it became harder and harder to know what the real truth was. Her steps got slower. Her breathing got heavier. Until both became to a stop right in front of her dad. And the truth was there. As bright as day. The source of the red stains on the doorway. The reason why her dad was so silent. It hit her all at once. And just like her fragile, sad little lie to herself, her entire world came crashing down upon impact. And everything became black. Oh. Don't enter there, game. Don't you dare. Game? Okay. For the first time in history, the kingdom of Solostria was plunged into darkness. It was unknown how much time had passed. Eventually, the girl in the darkness began to move once more. Okay then. Elora, was Dad dead or not? It feels like he was, but I don't know. Elora stumbled out of the recreational hall, still in a complete utter daze because of what she just saw. Though it was too dark to see anything, even her own body, she was still slowly beginning to shamble down the hallway. But while her body managed to stay on course down the familiar hallway without guidance, her mind was completely lost in her surroundings. Hey, are you there? Dad? It's me, Elora. Hey, where are you? Has Dad been possessed? For as long as she's known him, for as long as she's called him her dad, there's never been a moment where he wasn't overflowing with life. Though smothering at times, he always had the best intentions in mind. Oh, music though. He just had too much love in his heart, and his willingness to share it with everyone was why he was crowned king in the first place. That person she saw in the recreational hall, that thing was so devoid of everything he stood for. That was not her dad. She just couldn't accept it. She refused to accept it. If that was the case, where could her dad have disappeared to? Maybe Dad really was taking care of responsibilities as the king. Maybe Dad was in the kitchen putting the finishing touches on the cake. Maybe Canary told Dad how nosy I was being. Maybe Dad is going to scold me now. Maybe Dad is going to punish me now. Maybe Dad is mad at me now. Maybe Dad hates me now. Maybe Dad just doesn't care anymore. Whoa, Laura, these thoughts are racing, but that's not what this is. Even I don't know what this is. Laura's movement through the dark hall came to a halt, and her mind was swiftly dragged back to reality. Suddenly breaking the silence, she heard the sound of footsteps that didn't belong to her. Oh God, please let it be Canary, that lovely, goofy maid. Thanks to the pitch black, she couldn't tell where she was, much less find the source of those steps. But while she meaninglessly shifted her head around in the darkness, she came to understand one thing. Wherever and whatever the footsteps were coming from, They were getting closer. Out of pure instinct, Laura began to move through the darkness again. With each step she heard, her pace quickened until she was practically running at full speed. She could feel sweat pouring down her face. She could hear the heart jumping out of her chest. Above all else, she could feel something she thought she would never have to feel again. Again? No matter how long she was running down this dark hallway, she couldn't escape them. Both the footsteps and her fear that grew louder and louder. No matter how long she ran down this hallway, she never got any closer to the end. Oh, I actually got goosebumps there, jeez. She had no idea how long she ran for, but her legs soon gave out on her, and she collapsed to the cold, dark floor. Oh shit. I didn't think it was going to be a horror thing, Jesus. As she struggled between accepting her fate and fighting her fear, she wondered just how pathetic she looked right now. What would her dad think of her if she saw her like this? She had no idea. She couldn't see anything around her. She couldn't even see herself. Nothing around her existed. She began to wonder if this was the same as well. I don't like this. I don't want this. Dad, where are you? Dad, help me. Father, please. In between her sobs, Laura meekly cried out into the darkness. Soon after, as if answering her cries, the footsteps that endlessly stalked her grew even louder. And when she slowly lifted her head from her pathetic state, she finally saw something that stood amidst all the darkness. Something that was slowly but surely coming towards her. For a moment, Laura mistook it for a glimmer of hope. Oh no. Though unable to recognize that something deep down truly believed that it was something coming to save her from this terrifying torture of darkness. A white knight that's come to bring her back to her golden fairy tale. However, its footsteps became slower and his breathing got heavier, until both came to a complete stop. And once Laura was finally able to get a good look at what was now standing out in front of her, she knew that there was no hope left for her. Whatever it was had taken it all away, simply by existing. Oh, no way. Oh, that's creepy. Hello? No. I guess it's better to say, nice to meet you. This world of yours, it's really nice. But the truth is, this isn't your world anymore. Actually, it hasn't been yours for a long, long time. Isn't that right? The good news is, this dark, empty world now belongs to me. But the bad news is, the only reason I care about this world is because I have the power to make it disappear. Okay, I guess I was wrong. The second time as well. Well, you know what they say. Third time's the charm. Yeah. It's not hello. And it's not nice to meet you. Princess Elora. I'm sorry. But for you, it's the end. Oh, no way! No way! Oh, that's the end? Excuse me. God, that monster took it out of me. Wow. Dude. Oh, he's so shy. Oh my gosh. That was intense. I love that so much. I'm so sad I left this game to not be played for so long. And thus the story ended. But was it the ending you wanted? There were other options? I'm guessing not, right? It's only natural. It wasn't very fair after all. You weren't given much of a choice. I could have stared at the shiny thing a bit more. But don't you think an unhappy ending is better than no ending at all? Well, regardless, don't feel so discouraged. This is an ending, but it's not the ending. It's not your ending. For better or for worse, there's more to the story. There's no guarantee you'll ever get to see it. After all, you know what they say. Life is like a box of chocolates. Because you can never tell which one is completely nuts until you bite into it. A nice little twist on that little tale there. But still, if you really wish to see the rest of the story, yes, just take this bookmark of mine and use it to pick the nuts that struck between your teeth. You must have been appetizing on this story real hard if you managed to get nuts between your teeth. And it's really been getting on my nerves. After that, just keep it close to your heart so you remember the tale of the lonely little princess. And maybe one day we can reach the end together. Oh, and don't tell anyone about this, but that bookmark also functions as a key. Yeah. With that thing, you can open up the key to the story's library. You know, the one down main menu street, fuck's sake. Right between Bookmark Boulevard and Premises Park. Well, you can't miss it. I saw it scribbled out in the opening. It's a pretty good place to kill time. There won't be much there in the moment. Oh. And this does happen to be the ending you wanted, then that's perfectly fine too. It wasn't even remotely what I was expecting at all. If that's the case, you'll be glad to know that this is the first and last time we'll ever talk. And believe me, friend, I wouldn't have it any other way. Well then. Is that the end of it? I see. Right, let's check out the library. Oh, that's cool. I like this. Okay, so is it basically just a display of them all? Ah, so we can't find out anything about the weird creature. Ah, man. Okay, right, let's return to the menu. Okay, then. Wow. That was freaking stunning, honestly. I adored that. It just grabbed me and kept going, and it just got, like, I knew as soon as, like, we stopped at that door and the blood splatters were there, or at least the dots of red, I was like, something's very wrong. What could have happened? But I never thought it'd be, like, that level of, like, darkness. I thought it was just, like, the king had been assassinated or something. It was gonna be, like, a really sad story, but no, it's, like, it's horrifying. It's scary. It gave me a chance to try doing a little demon voice, which now has destroyed my throat, so, oh well. Either way, that was so cool. To the developer, shy or otherwise, make more of this game. I need more of it. I need to know how it properly ends, or if you're gonna take this anywhere more. Maybe I'll, like, play through it again, like, at my own time, just see if I can get a different ending, see if staring at the shiny actually works, or just leaving immediately, maybe, just to see if anything actually changes. I don't know, but man, this was glorious. I loved it. It's just such a good story. I really got invested in the characters. You wrote them so well. They were just so fun and intriguing and lovable as well, especially Canary. Oh, Canary. She tried so hard. But man, this was so good. I love this so much. I can't gush about it enough. So I'm just gonna leave it there. It was awesome, well written, looked amazing, and had an ending that I could not have expected in forever. So we shall just leave it at that. This game is on itch.io. Go have a go at the developer. Say, please make more as well, as I shall do as well, because man, I need more of this game in my life. It's so cool. And more of these characters in this world as well. It's just so stunning. And we'll leave it there. With my voice just about to fall off a cliff. Thank you all so very kindly for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you later.